Here we go. Ace Metaphor, the creator of the now dissolved Tonight's Conversation, was recently on Cam Newton's podcast. And I'm just sitting here thinking about Cam Newton. I think he stank, and he got a stank attitude. But they were having a conversation, I believe, about relationships, and Ace Metaphor said something that I want to discuss with you ladies and the audience today. He said that he actually thinks that black men do not like black women.
Mm.
He said that he thinks that they like black women sexually,
Mm-hmm.
but they really don't like the essence of a woman, who a woman is. They don't respect them for being women. Your thoughts, Adrian?
Mm. There may be some truth to that. I think just the way they move out here, it's like we're good for certain things, but not everything. They would much prefer to be someplace else. Yeah, he might have a point there.
Nisha Harris.
I'm gonna agree. I can definitely see his point of view, um, based on today's climate, based on what you see on social media. There's a lot of men that hate black women. Like they wake up every day to be like, let me tell you why I still hate black women.
Yeah.
Black women this, black women that. Black
Right,
women this,
right,
black
right.
women that. I can't stand a fat woman. Okay, so she lost weight. I can't stand a skinny woman that used to be fat. Okay, you like she could do there's nothing right she can do. Like look at her being happy. Let me tell you why she's not happy, because she's single. Okay, look, now the black woman's reading. Look at her reading her book thinking she's smart. Bitch, you ain't smart, you dumb. Like, okay. Like, every time you turn around,
Right.
it's nothing
Something,
black
yeah.
woman can do that's right, because they going to figure out a reason to find out you a piece of shit. So I think there's some truth to what he's saying. Yeah.
When I heard it, I had to think about what generation he might be referring to,
Mm-hmm.
because he's only 35 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And how did he that quickly come up with
Mm.
that conclusion?
Mm-hmm.
Like Nisha said, on these internet streets,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely black men hate black women. And they would say that they don't. They're just trying to make sure that they hold them accountable. I go down my stream sometimes, and every other one is something about a black woman, something about a black woman, something about a black woman. The internet, yes, 99% hates black women. I don't know if it's out so much in the world. I don't think that men in the world that have things to do in the world really hate black women. I think that the males and the incels absolutely have a disdain for black women. I think men that other men told to get the bag, and they got the bag, and they got the girl and she left them, they have a disdain for black women. I think men that have been um, taken to the bank via divorce or child support, they may have a large disdain for black women. I think that men that can't get no sex may have a
Sure
disdain
do.
for black women. I think men that haven't gotten over heartbreak may have some disdain for black women. I just think that, like Nisha said, the climate on the internet, you can't do nothing right.
Mhm.
You're fat, you lose weight, you still got it. Your
Mhm.
eyelashes don't look
Mhm.
right.
Yeah.
I think it's very dangerous for you to say, for him to make that statement. I wish he would have kind of flushed it out a little more. I think although men want women to be feminine, if they've had any kind of
Trauma.
Mm.
past that they don't like, whether they were promiscuous, maybe they have a tattoo, like you said, you're a single mother,
Mhm.
that there is no redemption for those women.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, she doesn't want to have sex with you now on the first date, but your baby daddy, you had sex with him on the first date. Well, I gotta wait. There's no redemption that these men have for women. If you don't fit their standard or fit what they think that you're supposed to be, so what's your feminine? Burn in hell.
Mm-hmm.
Type of scenario. So
Mm-hmm.
it was very disturbing for me to hear that. And then on top of it, I think Cam Newton said something like he's always been a sleazeball. He
Mm.
took joy, or he takes joy in taking
Out of
other
stealing
people's
souls.
women and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't like him. I think pandering is profitable. I think generalizing is profitable.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Telling half truths is profitable on these internet streets when you're trying to get clicks, when you're trying to get endorsements, when you try to get monetized. I think lying your ass off is
Mhm.
profitable.
Mm-hmm.
Telling the truth, the whole truth, and absolutely the truth, your channel is dead.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Ace Metaphor, what did they say? A clock can be right
Yeah,
twice
twice in one day. Yeah.
in one day.
Yeah.
I think he says stuff to pander. I think he's kind of like a Derek Jackson 2.0,
Yeah.
Yeah.
revisited, remixed. He does say some great things sometimes that
Mhm.
could be applicable.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that right there was something that he pandered for. Um, I think when you have a life outside of the internet, those men don't hate black women. I think it would be a great conversation starter to ask a man, "Are you on the internet?"
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Who are your favorite people on the internet?
Mm.
And then I think you could really, I'm sorry,
Sorry.
really gauge if they really got that "I hate black women" type of situation.
I often wonder, does it come from, because that age group that you're speaking of, those are more those groups that
What age
had
group?
single. Would he's 35?
He's
Yeah.
35.
What
Yeah.
age group do you think that he got that from? Just his age group?
I think 35 to 50. I think right in there.
Okay.
And maybe the 20s,
Mm.
because I have heard young men that are in their 20s that refuse to date because they
Yeah.
have vicariously lived through somebody else's life that went through a divorce and had to pay millions of dollars in alimony or child support and stuff. Dude, you ain't even had one relationship yet. So your esteem is so low that you don't think you have it what it takes for a woman to love on you and to be with you for long term. So I think it might be 20 to 45, some 50 and some 60-year-old too.
I'll say these 2 points. I know a gentleman on social media that is in his late 60s. Every day he wakes up to create posts about the type of women that he does not want to date.
JD,
I'm not going to say any names, but I'm just going to say I know a gentleman.
did I say the initials?
I'm just going to say I know a gentleman that every day you can go on their page and it's this disdain for the type of woman that they don't want every day. I also know another gentleman that maybe about 5-10 years ago was telling black women, go get your credentials in this. I'll say exhibit A, I'll say accounting. Go get your credentials to be a nurse. Go get your credentials to be, go in this direction. Get off of welfare, go do that, right? So you started to see a lot more black women go back to school. And now you hear these, quotes on the internet, we the most educated, blah, blah, blah. And now this gentleman has done about face and made fun of black women with their education. Like, oh yeah, you may have got your college degree, but you not doing nothing.
Mhm.
Oh man, yeah, you may have got this, but you in debt. Oh, and it's like, so which one is it? Do you want them to get their credentials to become better, more financially secure, or do you want them to just struggle? I feel like what I see on social media, like I said, there is nothing a black woman can do that will make them be like, good job. That's good for you. Like, good job. Everything they do, they have to figure out a way to tear them down, to say, nope. And this is why you're unworthy. This is why you don't deserve this. This is why I'm not going to cover you. This is why I think this of you, because you don't like us. And my thing is, I'm okay with preferences. If you prefer not to deal with black women, cool. You prefer not to date black women, great. But I don't like hmm, I don't like oat milk. Okay? I love almond milk though. Like
Mhm.
that's my thing. But I don't like oat milk. You know what I don't do every day? Talk
Talk
about
about
the
oat
fact
milk.
that I don't like fucking oat milk. I don't do it. But I see a lot of these men that be like, I don't like black women. Oh, they wear they weaves, they lashes, they fat, they loud, they this, they that. And I'll be like, okay, so you date out, right? Well, no, I don't date at all. Huh? Or, yeah, I do date out, but you still focusing on what you don't like. Like if you got the person you wanted in this
Sure.
other group, right?
Mhm.
Why are you focusing on this other group that you claim you don't like? And I've also seen some men that be like, they hate black women. They only like her when her legs is open. And so they get mad when, because you told black women, get some standards, stop giving your body up to everybody, get you some credentials, move different, move better. So these black women started doing it, and now you're like, well, you didn't do that with Ray Ray, you didn't do that with Pookie.
Mhm.
Why are you gonna do that with me? And it's like, but I thought you said be better. So which one
Make
is
up your
it?
mind.
I can't stand these black bitches. I can't stand these black bitches. So yeah, I'm gonna agree with Ace. And I think that window, that age gap that created the monster is between 35 and 65. That's what I'm
Mhm.
gonna say. Because I know a lot of men in their 50s and 60s that have these YouTube channels. Some are dead. Because some of them said so much fucked up shit about black women and then mysteriously they died. Like heart attacks, strokes, on top of people by themselves. Um, but they had so much disdain and hate for black women that it passed down to the younger generations. And when you talk to them and be like, well, was a black woman disrespectful to you? No. You said you'll never marry a black woman because she'll take your money. Did you experience that? No. Well, well, that's not even your story, but you're running with it. Well, yeah, because I know one of my friends, he got married, and when they got divorced, she took half of his 401k. Okay, all right,
Mhm.
but it's not your story, right? Well, no. Oh, okay, all right. Like I feel like some people look at us as just dumpsters. Like they just think that is what they equate black women. And I know it's not all. No, I know it's not everybody that's on the internet. No, I know some people aren't. But for a lot of people that we see on this internet, it's kind of scary.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you. They said, um, if you're a nurse, if you're a cosmetologist, if you travel, you're a hoe.
Right. Right.
You
Wow.
know, but you told him to be a nurse, to be a cosmetologist.
Right.
You know, get some credentials, get your money up, get your career. And I think there's a lot of men that really actually want to be women. Sorry, I said it. I think there's a lot of men that are so miserable in their manhood and they haven't accomplished nothing and they can't beat up the oppressor, so they want to beat down on women. Um, I think a lot of men love black women, but they can't get the ones that they really want. There's men out here that think they don't have a league, that they should be able to uh, acquire any woman of any means, of
Mhm.
any culture, of any background, and they don't do it, and then
Get mad.
they start hating.
Hmm.
You know, yeah. Um, I just think that for Ace Metaphor, he's trying to rebrand himself after,
His
everything
Shabbat.
that
Yeah.
happened
Mhm.
on his very successful
Pod, podcast.
uh,
Yeah,
company,
Tour.
that
Yeah,
company,
tour. Yeah,
company
Yeah.
type of situation
Yeah.
that he had created.
Yeah.
Yeah.
they were doing good.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Final thoughts.
Uh, my final thoughts are: I think a lot of that age group, especially the ones 30 between 30 and 45, that have this hate for black women. I think a lot of them were raised by black women only, only,
Single moms.
and single moms. Exactly. That's what
Mm-hmm.
that was the word I was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
But and what happens is because we're forced to be, I don't want to say forced to be masculine, but there is a part where you have to be, and they probably hate that we had to, buck up or rough up or cuss you out or sock you in your chest or any of these things that we had to do in trying to raise these boys that we were not equipped to raise by ourselves. And so then they start to have this hate for us. Oh, my mama loud. She want to cuss me out. She want to sock me. She this, she that, she that. I don't know where it comes from, but I do know this is at the end of the day, that's they coming back because they know where it's good. And we we definitely have to be mindful, just like what you said with Ace. He's probably trying to rebrand himself and do all of this, but I think there is that age group that really dislike us, and I hear him talk about it all the time. I think Dr. Umar says something about women being masculine, and he made some kind of somewhat a valid point where what I just mentioned is that some of us were forced to raise these kids by ourselves, and we did have to pull out that DMX voice. You know what I'm saying? We had to be rough. You know what I mean? We had to, because otherwise, I had a eighth grader that was taller than me with a goatee. So yeah, I had to kind of be rough. And I don't know if that's what I don't know. I just know that I think that's that age group right there. They don't like us.
Mm. I just I think there's some truth into what he said, and as Mona said earlier, I think sometimes it could be the right message but the wrong messenger, and sometimes that wrong messenger can be right, and you can have the clock strikes 12 o'clock twice in one day, so it could be the right time two times in a day. Um, so I do say that I do think that there is a certain group within the community that does not like women. They do not identify as gay. They do not identify as as that, but they do have this natural hate for women, and it could stem from having mommy issues. It could stem from daddy issues
Daddy
too.
issues.
That
Like
too.
it could stem from both. Like, seeing experiencing either he was there or not there, or how he treated his mom or not, or how she treated dad, and he didn't like it. And
Goes deep.
so, it goes in so many different ways. Like I've talked to men that like dealt with some like emotional abuse at the hands of their mama. I've dealt with some men that are not dealt but spoke with men that had to deal with, they didn't want to be the man of the house. So now as adults, they be like, I don't want to be a leader. I don't want to build. I don't want to do nothing. I just want a woman to take care of me,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they had to do it as kids because daddy wasn't there. There are some men that just, feel like black women are trash, and especially if we are single moms. And so just now that we have boundaries and we try to like move different and move smarter, how dare we? We are supposed to just stay at the lower level. And the fact that we are trying to climb up that ladder to get to a better place, it bothers them. Us just smiling bothers them. Like I had someone tell me today after they saw my stories, why are you so happy? Every time I see you in the stories, you got a smile on your face. And I was like, is that a bad thing? And he couldn't respond to that because I was just like, is that a bad thing? Like, I guess I'm supposed to be just miserable and just sad and just, I hate the world and nobody loves me. Like, I guess this is for some, what they want. And I would say, you need to heal. Go sit on somebody's couch, have the conversation, and figure out why you hate a certain group of people that you probably never will encounter. That that would be my final thought.
Misery loves company. And it's a lot of miserable YouTube channels that are led by men. That's where they can get any woman that they want because they have the money, they're high value. But 5, 10 years of listening to them and they still don't have anybody. Be careful who you listen to. Sometimes when men can't get women, they don't want you to have one either. Sometimes when women can't get a man, they don't want you to have one either. I think that a lot of men are kind of frustrated because whatever they're doing is not getting the results that the people that told them to do it, you know, they said do ABC. I did ABC, dude, and I still can't get
Mhm.
anywhere. And
Mhm.
I think that's where a lot of the frustration is coming in
Stuck.
at, and they don't have any other release, so they have to release it on black women. There is a community of women bashers,
Mhm.
that get many likes, and I'd be like amazed, and they just push like and love, and nobody leaves a comment, but I'm like,
Did you read
did
it?
you read that? you know um I know a lot of black men that love black women, uh and I just keep on scrolling because enough is enough.
Mhm.
Take your miserable ass off the internet and go outside somewhere
Touch some
and see if you
grass.
can
Mm-hmm.
get with you know a nice lady. Uh, that's my final thought.
Mhm.
Bless
We
their
looking
heart.
bad out here on these internet streets, but you as men are looking bad because you can't get a woman. I don't see a lot of women now, and it used to happen. It used to kind of be equal or more that women was like, "My baby daddy this," or blah blah blah. And we've moved on, and
Yeah.
we've accepted whatever it is. We're trying to hold ourselves accountable and responsible for our actions, and we're happy, and we're just trying to live our lives whatever way we have to do it. And y'all still, and especially the ones that's 50 and 60 years old, and
They
you're
sad.
still, well, this woman don't get with her.
Mhm.
She blah blah blah. I'm like, wow,
Mm-hmm.
wow, grow up.
Mhm.
There's a lot of immature men on the internet, and that's one of the reasons why they don't have a woman. There's a lot of men out here that have never been properly taught how to interact, how to get a woman, how to be successful with a woman. So they're taking their frustrations out on the internet because they don't even have any real friends. BGP, like, share, subscribe. We are out of here.
Bye.